king in the mountain.
That is how it goes. You kill off the internal antagonist and you move on to the rest of the campaign, as far as I can tell.
No.
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
That's my formula. Kill Kane, move on with the campaign.
Yeah. Yes.
How many seasons are we approved for?
7.
Oh my
God, like every
God,
fucking Netflix show these days.
Yeah, it's bizarre too. We were 3 episodes in and they hit us with a 7-season and a spin-off.
Oh, what's
I don't even know what to do with that, but we get 3 seasons of that.
Man, is it?
Bellefontaine.
I guess that's why we wrote him out of the story, so that he can do the spin-off. And then we'll write him back when that
Queen's Gambit. Wait, that's already taken? Oh.
Shit. So, season 2. Here we go. It's quieter than I thought it was going to be.
Lost in skies of...
Is this... Do we hear music?
Yes. Yeah. Every time you check that.
There we go. Alright, now I'm going to start it over again.
Oh, Christ.
This is not a new story. For as long as the world as we knew it has existed, there has been a bitterness and rivalry among the Garaman races. Folklore and fairy tales would have us believe that there was a time when the Earth was young, that all 3 races lived in harmony during those halcyon days. The history of the world is romantic and mysterious when it can only be told by the most enduring brushstrokes of an ancient fresco or in the flawless meter of poetry carved in stone. But the history of the world is not written by painters and poets. It's written in conflict, in adversity, and in compromise. If there ever were a time all 3 of Garama's creations truly existed without contempt for each other, it was always going to be temporary. Garama may be perfect, but his creations have never been. The turmoil began, as it always has, with the greed that can only foster in the hearts of mankind. Though Garama blessed his creations with bountiful land, sea, and skies, one jealous human, Claudius, wanted something no other mortal could have ever possessed. He lusted after Garama's prized possession, his aspect, a sacred statue bearing the god's likeness, proudly displayed in the god's own house of worship. History may never know if Claudius was too blunt to consider the repercussions of his actions, or too proud to even acknowledge them. Regardless, the thief plundered the aspect of Garama and cast the world into darkness. For days, Garama ravaged the earth in retribution for what was taken from him. In those desolate times, all of Garama's creations suffered because of the actions of one man, one human man, until the god gracefully decided the price had been paid in blood. Garama rent half of Glodia from the earth and delivered it unto the Quetzal. This was the floating continent, Elysia. He excavated water from deep within the ground and gifted it to the Graphites. This was the lifeblood of living creatures in a post-calamitous world. The humans were left to die on Glodia, now a ruin of its former beauty, deprived of drinking water, of fertile land, and the protection of their own society. A fitting grave tailor-made for such a greedy, thoughtless lot. But that is not the way the story ends. If humans are nothing else, they are perseverant. They shed themselves from consequence and collaborated with the Graphites, whose gregarious society pitied the humans and rescued them from extinction at the cost of their own humility and resources. Man climbed in defiance of God to the new lands and took advantage of the kindness of a benevolent Quetzal chieftain. They grew for centuries, consuming the land and depleting sacred Quetzal wildlands to erect their poisonous cities. And Claudius, the man who ruined the world, he sheltered himself and his family from the apocalyptic reaction caused by his avarice and died peacefully long after the winds and rain had subsided. Humans would celebrate him as a hero in their history books, as they would celebrate their invasion of our land as a triumph of a blameless disaster. 8 centuries have passed since humankind set foot on Elysia, and in that time, we learned that Garima was still enacting his vengeance on the race. Everyone alive knows of the actions of Calogero Lazarus, June Long, Peter Papadopoulos, Squab, and of course, the wise and humble counselor, Foraker of Raptor. In a fraction of that time, the three Garaman races have united for the first time in 1,000 years, birthed a republic that serves to recreate the ideology of the Halcyon days. Yet some things never change. The humans have asserted that they should occupy 2 seats of the governing board. They insist that they are composed of 2 races, not 1. They have installed a majority, and they wasted little time in exploiting that protection to scheme amongst themselves. It would seem that the millennium-old human plot is not over yet. Papadopoulos, now the human prodigal opulent chair of the Republic, has set out with his troop of benevolent graphites to discover the truth of what happened in the calamity that beget those desolate days. Fortunately, though their numbers are few, there are humans who transcend their destructive tendencies. June Long, the human chair of the Republic, who has long demonstrated her desire to cooperate with the Quetzal Graphites and lead her people to significant change, has agreed to accompany Papadopoulos' party and represent the will of the entirety of the Republic in her actions. I trust her to make this right. If there is a chance to reform the world from one of hostility into one of cohesivity, she will see to it. And if there is no chance, then we may find ourselves on the brink of the first mortal war this divided continent has ever seen. If one human's selfless actions cause a second pass at Garima's retribution, there will be no salvation for them among the remaining races. I would be consumed by maggots before I would allow another calamity to befall my people. All right, we're all ready to have a fun adventure now!
End of session.
Yes, that's it.
I'm gonna send her some hate mail. I'm assuming that was Alba.
Yeah, that was Ella.
Yeah, I'm
Who
gonna send
sounds
some hate
different
mail.
every time I voice her because I don't remember what she sounds like. So! We left. Aggie, what are you doing? What were you doing that whole time? Lay down. There's like a literal drum set on top of her cage too. What is that?
I was moving stuff today while I was going through boxes.
Lay down. All right, we were. That's right. We had just met Sean's character, and since we didn't play last week, I will do an actual update. So we had arrived in Graphos, and I think Sean, you pretty much just addressed them and said that you were helping people kind of where the goings on were happening. Is that right?
Yep. They
Okay.
escorted, or I told them to come with me.
Okay.
Were we told your order's name or who you represented? I can't remember.
I don't think so. I think June did a lore roll
Yeah,
that
June
informed
knows,
her, but I don't think she told us. I think she just said they're good people. Let's go.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds good.
Well, we'll head there. So, you guys are led by Naldrin to this is outside of town in the desert, sort of in the borderlands between Alizarin and Graphos. Definitely on the Graphos side, but kind of farther out. And as you're walking, what you're seeing is sort of, as you were kind of narrated to by Naldrin last time, what appears to be something of a ghost town developing. That this town was sort of ravaged by the elements, and everything is sort of coming apart, broken down. But there is definitely an effort to get things back in order. There are displaced humans and graphites that are being aided by a few. Oh, Peter's there twice. Kind of just like a handful of sort of very dutiful looking, somewhat sickly appearing Quetzal. Just just drop you guys off. And if anybody has any comments they want to make while I'm setting up, feel free.
I don't know if this is a free thing to do, but just to make sure, should I roll notice to see if it's only Quetzal being affected by this pox, or if it affects humans as well?
Go ahead and roll notice.
It's a 2, get me.
Okay, I think with a 2, you could determine that you only see Quetzal afflicted.
Okay.
Yeah, you definitely. We'll just do. We'll kind of Exosa style. These will just represent like pods of people.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look at that one.
Oh
Oh no, there's more.
Oh no!
I'm gonna.
Oh.
Christ.
Well, I guess leave it to Sean.
To the left is a sunshiny adventure. To the right, the literal Black Plague. I love it. Christ.
I feel like the dynamic that is the graphite holding the apple and then probably the most what I expected versus what I got. It like critiquing my own writing, I guess. Like fucking image I could have ever displayed.
I feel like I was entreated with a more urgent message, so June is gonna look over and say, well, where did you say the fire was?
We're currently under attack, right?
Yeah. I think I might have.
Or recovering from one.
Yeah, we're recovering from. We can address that pretty much right about now.
All right.
So Sean, you are met by this individual who he's going to come forward and he's going to say, Nodri, you've brought aid.
He'll look to him. Yes, Gaspar, these outsiders will do us well. They volunteered.
He's going to say, well, we haven't got much time then. Please, come, friends of Nodrin.
We're strangers. And she's gonna march over.
Strangers that are here to help, whatever that might be.
I'm gonna toss out a. Man, did I really leave my notice all the way down here? Apparently I did. So I guess, yeah. I don't know what I expected. I was just trying to see what kind of attack and or like problem has been happening. If I could glean that, but with the 0.
Yeah, if you want to glean anything beyond the fact that this place looks fucked up, I feel like a positive roll would be necessary for that.
It's fine.
Okay, but yeah. So as you guys wander over, and Peter kind of spaces out on looking at a bench. Gaspar will continue to elaborate. He'll say, actually, he'll kind of. I feel like he will. Let's see. Let's give him a little contact roll here. Okay, that's maybe fitting. June, he recognizes you. Peter, he does not recognize you.
Oh.
Oh.
So, sort of, when you step out and say we're strangers, June, this guy doesn't have like much of a face to react, but he does kind of fall back on the flat of his foot, and he says, "I'm going to get this wrong. The fervent flame or
Nope.
furtive?
Furtive.
he will just kind of say under his breath, "The furtive flame." He'll say, "This is fortunate." And he'll look to you, June, and kind of to the rest of the group, and he'll say, "These people have been removed from their home following a disastrous weather event. There are raiders that are taking advantage of them." He's going to say, "They attack by day and the monstro by night. We have been holding them off, but we will have to fall back before long. But maybe not now that you're here."
Peter will sort of perk up at the monstro, and he'll say, "Do you know if the bandits have a camp around here?"
He's going to look to you, Peter, just kind of with a coldness to him, and he's going to say, "We can imagine so, but we've not been able to venture out farther than this outpost."
And you're facing both? Raiders at day, monster at night?
He's going to say, "Yes. We are beginning to be overwhelmed."
So just kind of look police procedural like out over the setting as she addresses him and says, "Do you or any of your people have anything further to offer as per this investigation? You said you don't know where the location is."
He's going to look back to his group and he's going to say, "We have been treating the wounded and feeding the hungry and fending off the attackers."
She's going to look directly and say, "So no."
He's going to say,
There is no other place that would take our kind. This is all they have.
I feel like something is fucked with your audio filter, Sean. It sounds degraded
grain.
now. Yeah, it's grain.
Oh, it's raining really hard.
Oh,
okay.
That must be. Oh, that must be
"You
coming.
hear it for sure there."
Oh no, Sean, please, not your internet too.
Is it raining inside your helmet?
It did just thunder really loud, so we'll see.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, man.
Man.
June is gonna. I don't think that was much of an answer either. She's just gonna nod and say, "All right then." And she's gonna like nod Peter over. She's gonna try to get some distance for speaking.
Peter will he'll move with her to come up with some sort of game plan, the sort of obvious exchange between the two.
As you guys are leaving, I want Jasper to be like examining the house and just saying, "If that thing leans over anymore, it's going to be on its side. Why don't we take a look?" And I want them to start trying to like potentially help restructure this building or make sure that these people will be able to withstand the next assault.
Sure. Absolutely.
Craft roll.
Yeah.
No.
Oh my god. Well,
Nice.
Let's get it started.
yeah, I think you guys start working as We Built This City starts playing.
There's a montage of us lifting a roof.
Let's
Getting
work
inside.
together.
Yeah. You know, we're definitely fucking Sister Christian starts playing. Trying to think of the most fucking montagey 80s music. Yeah, we will definitely address that in a second as you guys start to work. Obviously, you're wildly successful, but
He's sweating immediately, like, oh, I was really counting on that house to fall down.
we're gonna follow. Yeah, it's crossing out pages of notes. We're gonna go to Peter and June.
She says, dismantling a raider outpost is one thing, but if this is one of the towns facing the but if this town's on the new edge of the monster infestation and it's as bad as you say, there might be no point to keeping them here at all.
I think you're right. But there is actually one more thing. I hadn't really been thinking about it until they just mentioned the oh man, my brain. Chiropteran. Let's say the
Yes.
Chiropteran. Says Bartolo was very adamant that we not speak to them. But I think we should.
She'll incline her head a bit and say, have you found them capable?
It says, we haven't even tried. It was not long after, well, Fuji at one point said that you're gonna have to bear with me, okay? Fuji said that in a dream he heard one speak. Bartolo was incredibly specific that he wanted us to steer clear from them, and at this point I'm feeling like anything he didn't want us to do may have some merit. They were wronged, a lot like humans. They were screwed over by Garima, no different. I mean, I can't imagine their goals would actually be that maligned with us if we could, hold counsel of some sort.
They did talk to me in a dream, but it didn't really make much sense.
I turn and unload on Fuji, my gun. This is an A and B conversation. How did you get here?
June unloads 7 rounds. That last one's a surprise.
Did you walk away?
Yeah.
Oh, I missed that part. Sorry.
Fuji says.
Fuji's tailing you.
We both turn around and Fuji's there. He didn't get the memo. He's like, "Oh, sorry."
Yeah, camera pans
June
over.
is
And he's
actually
standing there.
fixing the house. Fuji is just trying to look sexy for June.
Oh no.
Carrying a bunch of folding chairs.
Too many.
That's too many. Carrying one arm. It's incredible.
What is he doing?
Peter will continue. He'll say, obviously, my first concern is making sure that everyone here gets to some sort of safety. My initial instinct is we could dismantle the Raider outpost, but it is unfortunately just going to eventually be overrun with Chiropteran if we can't maybe get an idea of what they're doing. If we know they're here, we might have a chance.
She rubs her jawline and says, yes, this is one of those times where you're having an idea I'm strictly opposed to, but luckily for you, we are investigating this matter, and whether they can talk or not, we have to find that nest and see if it's a scouting party or if we need to move these people out.
Peter will nod in agreement, and he'll say, regardless of what my best hopes would be, we do need to know what kind of threat is moving in on Graphos.
What time's it now?
9:35 p.m.
Huh. Hey.
Real world? Wow. Immersive.
Yeah.
Yeah, it changes with the game.
Yeah, it definitely does. I would say, gosh, you left in the morning. You always said it was 2 days traveled across the continent. I imagine ships have gotten faster, but I would say you're probably dinner time.
I'm starving, Peter says.
Noldrin's been helping Graphites carry out the other Ashfeathers that are on stretchers that are just bedridden to sit them outside of the collapsing building.
Oh.
And he's going to look over at 3 of the 4 group not doing anything, and I'm going to invoke my trouble aspect, and he's just going to, after having set down one of the Ashfeathers, he's just going to call out,
I did not bring you here to do nothing. Stop standing around and help us bring them out.
For my clarity, Sean, who's he aiming that at?
You,
Me,
June,
June
and
Fuji?
Fuji.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh.
I thought so.
I guess technically there were 3 of us not doing anything.
Oh, I guess for clarity, is Fuji helping?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, I'd probably be helping the Travertine troop.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
If that's the case, that roll becomes an 8.
Perfect. We build the house again.
Yeah.
Move that
Build
bus,
this
we
in.
shout. The income tax is gonna bury these people.
We put in a race car themed room. What do you think of the race car?
Oh.
And hey, little Johnny, you get to slide down a slide to breakfast.
We've also donated $10,000
Fucking
to a charity that'll help your cause.
You're being very rude, sure.
The
Shut up.
future. Not soon enough for you, though.
my bones.
Peter will look up as Nildren speaks, and he'll say, of course, we're just trying to decide the best course of action. I'm terribly sorry.
Decide later. Act now.
Oh,
Man.
I'm gonna march
love-
over to him.
Peter will say,
You've activated speak
Yeah.
with manager mode.
As June is
doing
marching
that thing
over,
with he's like cutting it across his throat, like.
as June is marching over, I do want to briefly cut over and acknowledge that as Noldrin was helping the sick people sort of get removed from this ruined town, and Gaspar is sort of leading humans and graphites sort of like away from potentially collapsing structures. That it is Fuji and the Tavertine troop have done some really, I guess, in the time of this conversation at least, some really promising building, like refortifying this one house that was on the brink of collapse. Trying to be realistic for the time that is spent
They
here.
can reset some of the foundational pillars.
Yeah, I think some of these exterior it was an 8 is the thing. So whatever they do, this thing is sitting fucking pretty.
My recommendation is to stay in for the night. Is ultimately what I'm going to get to. So I think they have
There you
all
go.
evening.
Yeah. Okay. So then
Okay.
they're still working, but we'll cut to this conversation. We'll go back then to this conversation between June and Nildren.
perfect.
I'm going to march up, looking very sure of myself, and incline my head and just say, "You know where the raiders are at?"
We only know once they show up.
Do you know where the Monstro are at?
Out in the darkness.
So no. All right. Well, that's what I'm doing here. Figuring that out.
I was not aware that you're any kind of investigator. I thought you were just people off the street.
Peter purses his lips and presses his fingers together and goes, "Really?"
She's going to look off in the distance, just say, "We are. We're just people off the street. But what I'm telling you is," she's going to look up and say, "I'm not much of a builder, but a raider killer." And then she's going to look back and incline her head.
We try to kill as many as we can, but their numbers are greater than us. There are not many vanguards here left.
She'll say, "There's 2 more now. Where's your best, where's your lookout?"
That would be, I assume, the dilapidated tower that we have.
Yes. Yeah. That would be. That'd probably be what remains of a lookout.
I do a standing
He's
leap
gonna
and
look. He's
smoke.
gonna look.
Whoa.
He's gonna turn his beak directly up to the collapsing Merlin tower.
Without moving any of her body, just doing a standing leap, rockets up, smoke billows into the air, and I land upright atop the tower. No.
It collapses out of the way.
Ah!
No!
When you
Go
get
straight
up there,
through the
there's
ceiling.
a raider teleports Dragon Ball Z style, and he's already winding up a kick to kick you back to the earth.
Oh!
It's fine though. You while you are sent to the earth at a velocity that should kill you, creating a large crater, you do march out of the smoke with a smirk.
You shatter the earth
Yeah,
into
It's
pieces.
crazy. It's almost like going up there in the first place. It's pointless. It's almost like Dragon Ball Z fights. That makes sense.
Like, wow, why'd we do that?
Why bother?
He's already flying down to keep the fight going. What was the point of
You
it?
defeat him, but then he gets back up and says, I've activated my secret form.
Yeah. She is gonna laser beam his like stomach out though, and they're gonna censor that.
Oh my
Oh my
god.
god.
She is going to look up at it and then back at him and nod and just start marching for whatever stair system there is up to it.
Is quickly for me, the rest of Peter's crew is here, right?
Oh shit! Yeah, they are.
That's okay.
Oops.
I figured.
Sorry,
Oh.
I apologize. I had a day at work. Yes, I forgot. Cammy and the Splits are here, and they have been helpful and kind, and everybody loves them.
Right. I think mostly for me, Peter would just kind of whistle at them and get their attention and direct them toward the troop and Fuji.
You know what? Here, we're gonna retcon this. The Splits helped the Graphites build stuff. Cammy actually was kind of just sitting around watching, so she got yelled at too.
Wow, what the fuck? She's the one who's good with a wrench.
Oh wait, yeah, that's right. Fuck!
It's all good, man.
Nice racial profiling, Dave. The Splits have to
Ow.
do menial labor.
I know.
Well, she tells us what to do, so somebody has to do that.
Yeah, she's the mechanic. Well, she's a mechanic. She's not like a house builder.
Yeah, so are
Lousy
those
excuse,
guys.
Cammy.
So
Lousy
are
you're right,
Fuji
they're
and
a
the troop.
No, they're a driver. Oh, they're a driver and a gunner. That was like actually racist of me. All right, flip flop, because they're not even. I mean, all graphites are mechanically inclined, but wow, I'm gonna get canceled.
Peter will.
They have an ascot and a bandolier. Like I'm telegraphing that they are a driver and a gunner. I'm like, you guys are Puerto Rican, right? Come on, get over here.
What if Sean's character did it? He just looked at our races and just went, "You two-headed graphite, go build."
Oh, Jesus.
Anyway, Peter will gesture to Field and Flake to go keep an eye on everybody, and he's gonna go with June.
Yeah, they will, and they also they get a weekend off from work because I have to do that, or the labor is gonna be livid.
Definitely in trouble. HR's coming.
Yeah. Are you guys intending to do anything on the way up? Because I do have a thing.
I'm intending to do your thing. By the way, Mac, I bet you're observing my cool placement. As I learned from Kane, you just hold Alt and then... Oh, shit.
Oh. Uh-oh.
I see you catch on quick. I didn't even have to finish my sentence.
So as you guys start moving for the tower, everybody that would be trying to notice, roll notice.
This is where the fun begins.
This is where
Fuck.
I'm gonna say, Sean, that you probably should too, just incline for what you're noticing for, which would
I
normally
guess
be
I'll show
don't
him up
do.
anyway. Let's see.
That place is not cleared for 3 people. What are you doing?
Yeah, that's definitely an OSHA violation. Sean, as everybody begins moving, sort of response, to this decree that you've tried to give, you sort of see that your warning should have been affected because you hear the familiar sounds and see the familiar light of a group of raiders approaching. While you had just fended off an attack not long before you came to get help, it seems that they were not entirely repelled and have regrouped, and you can tell that there is a threatening amount of people on their way.
Oh boy. He's going to call out from one of the windows down to any of the vanguards that are left. He's just going to call out,
Vanguard, to arms!
They will respond to that. So, at this point, to the rest of you, it is apparent that there is an imminent danger coming, and I want to kind of set up for this conflict a little bit differently. So, Peter and June, I'm going to do the courtesy so you don't have to change his zone, that this happened fast enough that you guys didn't actually climb yet. But I would like everybody to roll turn order.
Let me just stretch my calves.
All right, game.
If we get a little bit of a prep turn, I'm already very excited about this.
Wow, have we really not had conflict since Peter was fighting a robot? When was that even?
It's a while ago.
Back
Yeah.
on Cumulo.
Days of our lives over here. All right, let's see. Turn. I'm gonna do Cammy for the entirety of the NPCs. Fuji, the troop. Okay, so let's just punch in your numbers here. You got a 2. Mac and Sean, do you want to reconcile who goes first out of your roll?
I'll allow Sean to go first if he wants.
I'll go
Okay.
first.
Yeah,
All
it
right.
makes more sense to me.
Sean will go first, then Peter. Let's see. Cammy splits. Rolling is Bartolo. Oh, I guess you guys can't see that anyway. Oh, wait, they're rolling. I'm going to average their roll because they are. I'm just doing them together. Troop was a 5. Fuji and the Tavertine troop. Do you guys want to reconcile who goes first?
I don't have any strong feelings. Do you have any ideas, Julia?
Fuji goes second.
Okay, perfect.
What a gentleman. All right.
They're doing that thing at the door where they're like, no you.
So, you have a crowd of sickly people, and as far as you can tell, not a lot of fighters. You have, let's see, what was the notice roll that Sean got? Sean rolled a 4. No. Sean rolled.
He rolled a 4.
Yeah, okay, he just rolled 2 4s. Sean rolled a 4, so you know that you have exactly 2 turns of time to set up for this incoming attack.
Awesome. Very cool.
And the other thing that I wanted to address is kind of clean cut. We're going into like the season 2 of this here. I didn't realize that I was not doing combat, or rather, we haven't in this group done combat the way that Fate recommends it, which is, Kane, you had explained, when you take stress, whatever, like, you can't actually use 2 stress boxes to
Yes.
absorb it.
Mhm.
Whatever bleeds over into a consequence bleeds over into a consequence.
Yep.
So I would like to start running that now,
Okay.
specifically because it's designed to keep combat moving faster.
Okay.
As long as everybody's good with that, and just for clarity, I'll repeat, when you take stress, you have your stress boxes that allow you to take however much you can. So you kind of can plan around, okay, if I'm taking 3 damage, do I want to use my 2 slot stress and take a mild consequence, or do I want to absorb it with my 3?
Okay.
And I promise I'll also be better about managing consequences, that if you take a mild, I mean, you don't even hang on to that until after conflict, right?
As long as you
So long
mend
as
it.
it's healed.
Yeah,
As long
you
as you
have to
mend it,
mend
it
it.
mends immediately.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's how I've been doing it, and I
Yeah.
think it's pretty cool already.
Feels good.
I'm liking
Okay.
it.
Yeah, so we can open book this a little bit while we're getting used to it, because
I
I'm
stabbed
sure that
you.
I'll forget, but... What?
I stabbed you, now I want to weaken her.
Yes. Oh, man, like right as she's coming back down the
Yeah,
stairs?
like I look like the hero.
What the
I
fuck?
leap up and I bite Peter in the throat. How do I do?
Oh
Oh my
no!
god.
That's his one weakness.
You looked at me with such earnesty.
I did.
One weakness.
So, Tavertine Troop, you guys are first.
Okay. Jasper will turn his face from the newly renovated building to the groups of people outside and say, "Walls as stable as it's gonna get. We need to get those patients inside." Just what I was thinking. Cammy, Field, Flake, let's get to work. And he wants to... let's do some notice advantages to try and make sure that we have a clear path and that everyone can get through properly. Like basically
Sure.
organizing thing.
Okay.
I like how Field and Flake might be useful in battle. Cammy, Field, Flake, Fuji, everyone available. New guy with a sword. June and Peter got this. Wait, what?
Let those
Let 'em
Ashfeathers
do
handle it. They'll take care of this.
Putting swords in the hands of Coughing Quetzal.
It's better if they go.
Yeah. With a 3, that'll get you 1 invocation of disadvantage.
Perfect. As they start to kind of move about the field, clearing away tables and anything that would block
Oh, I like that.
the egress.
Good.
into the building.
Okay. For clarity too, this is all in the same zone, so there's really no move. I guess the only movement would be if you wanted to go and put yourself in the lookout tower or get out ahead of anything. Anything on this screen right here, tower notwithstanding, you could do reasonably with free movement.
I'm just going to move over to this entryway over here, and that'll be for my
Okay.
next turn as Cleo takes her position, and Leighton is going to get to work. That'll be my
Cool.
turn.
All right. Fuji, there is an advantage on the board of a nice clear pathway. What do you do?
What exactly do you mean by clear pathway?
Sorry, so we can get these people in, because there are a bunch of Ashfeathers, which are victims
I
as
see.
far as we're concerned, and we need to get them somewhere safe. So
Okay. We're trying to usher them into the building? Or
Yeah.
just away?
I think into the building, because there's no way we're going to push them into the forest. This is like our
Okay.
one place to stand our ground.
Alright, so I think then Fuji is going to start boarding up windows.
Okay.
Cool.
Or just like any sort of spaces where he thinks raiders might try and run through.
Okay.
Other than the space that people are coming in right now.
Okay.
So maybe like create an overcome that the raiders would have to get through.
Yeah, so I guess specifically, do you want to board up windows to keep people inside safe, or do you want to try to build something of a barricade? Because that's sort of two different functions.
Yeah. Yeah, I think just to keep people inside safe.
Okay. All right, go ahead and roll your overcome. Okay. All right, so Fuji begins boarding up windows. Which brings us to Nuldrin.
All right. He's going to call up any of the other vanguards, which I think it's Gaspar, and I don't know if you had any other ones aside from him.
Anselmo
They're
isn't
all dead.
really like he's
Yeah,
kind of
he's the old
something of
man.
like a wise man.
As much as
you know what?
old men get.
I'll put the immediately contemptible. Yeah, he's a wise guy, all right. Let's see. I'll put in the other Ashfeather NPC that I had preloaded for this. You have Gaspar and Petra to work with.
All right, he'll call them up, and he will start to move outside towards the known spot of attack where they've attacked from, whatever angle that is, wherever direction that is that you saw them.
Okay.
And he's not setting up like a trap or anything like that. He's just like out on the path, sword drawn, waiting for them.
Sure. So one of them will post up over here. The other will post up out here. Man, I am not going to be able to see him.
So dark.
Gonna
And
just
he'll
put a
say to
little-
them before they disperse.
Remember your oath. Die for the weak.
They will both just take a hand and clasp it tight on their. They'll take their right hand and clasp it on their left shoulder, their wings, and then that's kind of they nod to you with that, and they go. So you kind of moved in preparing for an attack. Do you want to do anything to create an advantage while you're there?
I will. Let's see. No, not until they show up. I think I'm good.
Okay, cool. Peter.
Okay. We've got 2 turns. My initial instinct is I'm gonna try to get some people inside ahead of time,
All right.
but I'm not really sure what I need to roll for that.
I would say that your repertoire is probably provoke on somebody able-bodied and physique on somebody not able-bodied.
I mean,
Unless anybody wants to argue a different skill. I feel like those make sense to me.
Given my stunt, I could probably argue rapport, but I feel like I could probably just try to pick up people and help move them. Because I feel like it's really cruel to just be like, you can do this, you can walk, get up.
So there are able-bodied people, though, that can move around.
Oh, they're
Yeah,
better.
like you don't have to hoist one of the healthy graphites up overhead.
Oh,
Basically, if this is like Guild Wars, you get the button to like shout at them to make them move faster, or if you want to actually pick up an Ashfeather or something.
How
you
is
will
she gonna
get
know what
a
Guild
disease.
Wars is? It's like Left 4 Dead, Mac, when you go and pick up an ally and you're just like, get up, come on!
It's like in The Last of Us.
Oh,
How is she gonna know what The Last of Us is?
I don't even know what video games are.
It's like in Homestuck.
Homestuck. Just like.
It's like in Maple Story. Sorry, Gaia.
that was I cut my teeth on Gaia. Let's see. Okay, so I think my initial gut instinct is I'm going to go try to physique help some of the worse off Ashfeathers who can't really move without help.
Sure.
And then if I need to next round, I can hit that report button, hit that like and subscribe button.
Okay. All right. With a 2 physique, I'll let you get one of the groups inside.
All right. So kind of scrambling while everyone's moving, he's going to go lend his immediate assistance to the closest group of kind of worse off Ashfeathers, helping a graphite hoist him up as they move him inside.
An Ashfeather or a graphite?
It was flavor. He's helping an Ashfeather inside.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, cool. June.
Which map should I be on to sort of be out front of this ranch and establishing a line to cross?
If you want to go out, like where you're, so the entry to this village would be on the bottom screen. If you want to go like all the way out of this zone to basically be like the first, yeah.
I'm going just in front of whatever the gates are. Oh, so we're north on this map?
Yep, you're in here.
Then I want to use lore to create a situational aspect advantage where she is just gonna loosen her one arm from inside the coat and just stick 2 fists at both sides, and the heat will sort of distort the air around her fists. And then in a sort of blinding burst, there's a huge discharge of flame in either direction around her, and to kind of create a wall of fire. And now we're gonna roll really badly to. Yep.
No,
Yep.
That creates an aspect.
I gotta get the bet. I've been having such a fucking 2 nights of this. But yes, create it.
Okay, so yeah, you created one. All right. That brings Cammy and the splits. Cammy. Let's see. Cammy was called to by Jasper and is going to follow Peter's example. Oh man, granted though, how does Cammy feel about Ashfeather and touching diseased castle?
Interesting.
Oh shit, you know what?
Cool.
Yeah, that'd be a very huge no-no.
Yeah, I feel like since this started, okay, this is why Cammy wasn't being helpful. Since this started, Cammy has been a little on edge. Cammy is going to
Fly away.
Yeah, Cammy just leaves. She's just gonna backpedal out of here and throw up on her way out. Let's see. She's gonna be careful to try to start kind of helping. I think she'll kind of do what the troop did, and she's gonna just kind of start continuing to sort of clear out here. So let's see if she can't make another advantage. Okay, with a fucking 5. I guess that's 2 more for people to use in terms of clearing the way to get people inside safely. Which I don't even think people have used the first one yet.
Oh, I thought that one was used. Well,
So,
shoot dang.
with there being 3 points of entry into this village here, Gaspar. I feel like Gaspar and Petra will be taking the the defensive action, so to speak, on their next turn. Anselmo, though, will urge this group of Graphites to go inside. He's basically going to approach them, begin conversing with them, sort of gesturing around, and with a warm sort of leading arm will bring... all right, he will actually get 2 groups of Graphites inside. I'm going to just GM layer them in the buildings that they go into. All right, so back to the troop.
They are going to scramble now that I know the area's over here. Could I create an arch similar to this one, potentially with a craft roll that I want to bring down on anyone who tries to sneak past that we don't want coming in?
Sure.
And that will be to try and create damage if possible.
Okay.
Okay. And Jasper, before I roll, will just say, shouldn't take more than a push to bring this down. Leighton, you got it? Yeah, and if I screw it up, you can go get Fuji. And she'll get a 5.
Don't like
Nice.
Cleo will start to protest, but Leighton will go up and wedge her wrench into one of the slots and try to keep it there as leverage.
Watching this still arms crossed like a Sean character from like the distance here, Gaspar will take a polite and also necessary step back so he's not directly under the arch. Fuji!
At this point, is everybody inside? Or so
There are still 3 groups of people not inside.
okay.
1 group of Graphites, 2 groups of Ashfeathers.
The Ashfeathers are all the sick ones, right?
Correct.
So I think Fuji's gonna go out and start picking up people who can't walk.
Okay. Give me a
Bring
physique
them
roll.
inside. Okay.
Get it, Fujil. Yeah.
All right.
Pick 3 people up at once.
Yeah, Fuji's going to be able to get the remaining Ashfeathers inside.
That's without the +2, so... that'd be an
Jesus
8.
Christ.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I guess if you want to use that, that would get the other Graphites inside too.
Yeah, let's do that.
Nice.
Okay. So everybody is inside safely for now.
We saved them. They're safe in the house.
The hospital burst into flame.
That you ignited.
Get them all out.
The Joker walks out of the hospital.
The Joker just walks on screen with a detonator. He hits it way too many times. Excellent, Fuji. You gained notoriety with the Ashfeathers. You can see it on the bottom of the screen. Reputation increased. Meldrin.
Right, let's see. This is our second turn, I'm guessing, of waiting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if there's nothing else to help with, he's just going to remain at the ready.
Okay. Do you want to take the defensive action?
Yep.
Okay. Peter.
Well, now that everyone's inside, I guess Peter's gonna go catch up with June. I'll look at my sheet here real quick. When was the last time we rested? I feel like I didn't.
Probably just
You
before we
should've
got into
before
this
you
town.
Oh
Yeah, you should've
so
before you
I
came
did
here.
everything but undo my aspect ticks. So
You used all of them to beat June in that foot race. It's really,
I
really not worth
I
it.
needed everyone to be impressed.
You had to use all of them too.
Yeah,
That's
it
how
was-
much she was winning.
Yeah, it's really tough. No. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna go catch up with June for now.
Okay.
So that's a zone change. Do I need to do anything, or is that just my turn?
So you just don't have movement.
You
So if you wanted to
gotta
like go
you gotta-
even further up to try to engage them before June, you wouldn't be able to do that.
you got a provoke stat, Peter?
Yeah.
You want to
Yeah.
lend me a +1 if you're gonna do nothing else with your turn?
Yeah, I could do that. Well, actually,
What are you gonna do?
no, I lied. I don't have a provoke stat.
You.
I have a stunt. I use rapport as provoke.
What is the
so.
wording of it?
Peter may roll rapport to create an advantage for another player.
I think that's all you need.
Though it requires you have the ability to bolster them through spoken word.
There you go.
So can you bolster June through spoken word?
That's the question, can I? Here. Alright.
So you don't have a functional provoke to just give her a +1, but
No.
you could create
I
it.
could try to create an advantage
Okay.
for her.
Okay, I understand.
Yeah, I guess. Alright, let's do this.
You gave yourself more homework. I was ready to let you do it. It succeeds anyway, June. You're going to get a +2.
I would not have
Peter
accepted it.
Oh,
I'm sticking with the rules. But this advantage, what she has done just worked if it passes your challenge.
okay.
I'm sorry, I'm confused. Am I speaking to you or no?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, your take. Okay.
Yep.
Peter will he'll come back out from the town, kind of noticing June having readied herself, and he'll say, "I think we've got everyone inside. You know, I'm really grateful to have you here, June."
She is gonna do the anime tsundere character thing of just sort of glare over at you for daring to emotionally connect with her, but the warmth inside her will bolster her confidence outwardly as she just stands and crosses her arms, and I just want to do sort of a imposing presence provoke as I stare at a load of raiders from between walls of flame.
All right. Nice.
Peter will stand back enough that he's not directly in the flame, but he'll just have his hand on his sword.
Y'all see the 4 -1s in a row that I rolled there trying to get out of this fucking hole?
Although they might start with some will damage as I load them in.
Oh, I'm creating advantage.
Oh, you're creating advantage. Okay, never mind then. Yes, well that'll actually give you 2.
Woo!
Okay, so everybody's getting geared up. The other Vanguard are preparing themselves. And for clarity, June and Peter, you are out front, basically blocking the most vulnerable entrance, but there are still ways on the side for people to get through, just so you don't feel like I cheated you if people start filling in.
That would be important. I think... God, I'd love to fight with Peter, but do we really have enough people to cover all entrances? Noldrin's one, but...
You do have a Vanguard at each entrance.
Okay. Alright.
My boys will take.
You say my boys?
Boys!
Bring our boys home.
And yeah, I guess, sorry, before we start conflict, just so I'm clear, there are 3 veritable entry points, and this one in the south is just the largest of those.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
They're trying to basically keep people, I think, from even getting to these 3 entrances. I think June is trying to cut most of them off, like thin off as many as she can.
Oh, okay.
My thing is like they're going to funnel in, but there is the ability. You know, it's not so video gamey that they can only come in from one direction. But this is where like people will come here and they can start splitting off. Peter and June are probably going to thin, I would imagine, as many as they can hold off.
Yeah, basically the idea I had was that the formation these guys are taking clearly looks like it used to be part of a much larger formation where it was like staggered. Like these guys would have been like shoulder to shoulder guarding the entire thing all the way around, but there's only 3 now.
Oh, Jesus.
Saddest phalanx.
And
Yeah.
they're taking up the pose that Noldrin is doing there, where they're holding both the sword in both hands, looking one way.
The troopsicle.
Is that, I think that was our 2 turns, right?
Oh yeah.
'Cause that was the beginning
That's
of the
it.
turn. So I think we start.
Right. All right. So.
If this image is accurate, just one really scraggly looking dude shows up, so I think Peter and I can take him.
Yeah, that's it.
It's the madman, though.
Really oh, fuck me.
Yeah.
I don't even know what a boss battle with him looks like. I didn't have to flesh that out.
One guy shows up. Yeah, and he's ready.
You can control like plants and stuff.
He's tough as hell.
Nice!
In the desert.
Finally showed up.
You said he controls plants?
Yeah, he's like a kid who got lost for a while.
They forgot about me, he says to the
Hey,
vert.
that's Verse from Tyranny. That's from the game that I ripped off.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's the essentially, if we're gonna translate directly, that is the ostrich of that game that you get.
Which
Oh.
one is Verse?
Mrs. Feather-headed lady.
Oh!
That's cool.
Oh, she's great. Now she's a raider.
She's a raider, yeah.
I can't
you,
do
you
this.
You can recruit her Fire Emblem style, but I'm not gonna play her how you understand here. I'm gonna be like, I'm Verse.
Oh.
As in musical, because I'm so into it.
I'm Verse lyric.
Well,
Oh.
they're the Scarlet Chorus, so all of their names are essentially music terminology.
Oh. Dave,
I
good
can't
job.
wait to kill
A
her.
little bit of lore.
I guess so. Alright, this is so much more organized than I feel like it would really be.
Everyone line up. They're like tallest to shortest.
They really do.
In reality, this looks like the end of the How Can She Slap video, where they all kind of mirror on frame.
I love him.
17,000 men enter.
Very slowly saunter on stage.
Alright. So